Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are back with another brand new video, and as you can tell by the title, we are here for the second time today as we're here to discuss in more detail Rangers 2, Arsenal 2. And it's a very interesting game to actually look at because to me this was the first game that the pre-season really started, and that's not me trying to be disrespectful to Partick Thistle or Tranmere, who obviously beat us 1-0 and had all the fan dans up and I mentioned, who's been very quiet for a very long time, but they were back talking up that little result there. But I'm not trying to talk down those games, but I'm just saying in terms of this game right here versus the level of competition where we want to go in the season, this was where we give our players, our first team players, longer on the park. This is when we try to really break down opposition because this is the type of games that really gets you ready for the upcoming season. I mean, we've done that now over the last couple of years with Steven Gerrard, the games like, say, Leon, last season, etc. So I was excited for this one, and I did expect a bit more bite in the game, and I think we did see that at certain points. I think going in to the opening 10-15 minutes, I wouldn't certainly say Arsenal dominated the entire first half. I know there's a wee bit of narrative going out there like that, but for me, I thought the opening 10-15 minutes was very solid from Rangers, very clever in possession, trying little 1-2s, trying to build out. I thought from the defence to the midfield was solid enough. It was the problem then going forward where all the issues seem to break down. But one shining light in terms of the midfield for me, in terms of pre-season games and only second game of Rangers shirt, was Lunisthrom. I was very impressed in what I've seen. Again, he is kind of burning out a little bit because he isn't anywhere near ready to play just yet. But if you look at his body work and where he was able to pick balls up, beat people, trick a wee pass here and get beyond someone compared to last week's game versus Tranmere, it's night and day, and that progression and that quality is only going to go up and up and up because that's a real talented player in there. And I had a couple of people in the chat trying to talk him down and try and take digs at him, but he's nowhere near ready yet to be judged, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not forget when Stephen Davis came up the road, not fully fit, not really ready to play, everyone was writing him off after the first couple of games. Let's give this laddie time because for me, I saw enough in that game to say there's a player in there. Speaking of a player up in there, before we actually go ahead and break down the match reaction, I've got to talk about our boy Calvin Bassey, because to me, this game right here made me want to go online, type in Rangers TV, hit enter, click in, go to store and buy some freaking bucket hats, because that performance right there for that laddie was absolutely glorious. Speaking of glorious, by the way, before I go ahead and get lost in speaking about our boy Calvin Bassey in the game versus Arsenal, if you didn't mind helping the old channel out, the channel dream of 50k is within reach, ladies and gentlemen. It may just actually happen if we can keep up this phenomenal momentum. So if you could help the channel out, that'd be greatly appreciated. But speaking of appreciate, I think it's important to go ahead and reflect and react to this type of game with the same sort of mindset that we've had over the last couple ones. The end result isn't always the most important thing from pre-season games. It's about who played well, who's getting minutes, who's looking sharper, and if we're trying anything different, did it actually work? And I think if you look at this team, we've got a 2-2 draw with Arsenal, right? They scored in the last 10 minutes. Did they miss absolute sitters? Absolutely, but that happens in football. Go ahead and look at the Tranmere game that we played. But for me, when I think of this game, there's a couple of things that jump out to me right away. The first one is going to be one of the most things we've been excited about for a long time, the prospect of playing Nathan Patterson and James Tavernier in the same frickin' team, because even in the words of Steven Gerrard in his post-match interview, they're too good to only play one of them all the time. You can't just have one of them sitting on the bench. They're too good of a players. They need to be involved. Maybe not every single game getting involved, and it will take time to get up to speed for them to get used to it. But if you were ever wondering, is Patterson maybe going out on loan? Are we maybe going to move on Tavernier to make sure there's room for Patterson to play? Nah. We have two very talented right backs, and Tavernier's basically go anywhere you want on that right hand side, and both of them is going to be at this football club next season. And this is the first time now we've actually seen it going in action, and that's very, very exciting to me. I thought Patterson was absolutely incredible, genuinely. For the second he came on, for me the game changed, and I'm not taking shots at Tavernier here, but defensively we got much, much stronger the second he came on, because the first action that young man did was do a slide tackle that lasted about 10-15 yards, nailing somebody, getting the ball and setting the tone right away. And I just love the way he approaches the game. He plays every game like he's last. Like, he always needs to make an impression. He always needs to give absolutely everything, and I hope that never changes in that young man. But I thought he was absolutely standing, and again, for the 10 or so minutes that we got to see the Tavernier-Patterson relationship down the right hand side, I'm excited about the prospect of that becoming a regular thing. And you know, son, despite the game not being great from a lot of fronts, I think it is important for a wee bit of perspective. When you look at it, a lot of those Arsenal players are worth a hell of a lot of moolah, ladies and gentlemen. We have 6 first team regular players out that's not even getting on the actual park and playing with them. So everyone is coming on with too much negativity and slamming this, miss me with it, please. We've got 6 other players to come in. We're still getting fitter. I'm not hitting any panic button just yet. We're getting a 2-2 draw versus Arsenal. Now, in saying that, I'm not going to sit here with my pom-poms and pretend everything was perfect in this game. It's still very, very slack, and I think there's a wee bit of night and day difference in how we're playing so far in pre-season than we were last season, and I do think that is important, because remember what Steven Gerrard said, the platform for them to go ahead and start the season the way we did was built in pre-season. And again, for me, this was the official start of our pre-season. Now we have Blackpool, now we have Brighton, now we have Real Madrid, to get that going in the right way. And I think we will see a different mindset going into these games as we continue to build up, add more minutes and get sharper. And aye, that word sharper gives us the perfect transition, as we have to unfortunately talk about a couple of wee disappointing parts from the game, because I think if you look at it, the opening 10-15 minutes for me was balanced, and I thought we looked good at certain points. Obviously McGregor had that mistake where he tried to pass to Lunisthrom. Aubameyang gets on it. He should score, let's be honest with it. He lifts it a mile over the bar. But that's what happens in pre-season. That's what happens when you're not at your best, because nobody can turn around and say that guy can't put the ball into the back of net. And I think that's a good little thing to actually focus in and look at, because Aubameyang is a sensational footballer who now is officially my favourite Arsenal player, because not only did he miss that sitter, he didn't just miss 2 sitters with the back post header that he had. He actually went ahead and missed 3 sitters in the actual game, where he went on to miss from 2 yards out, ladies and gentlemen. After a good save from Alan McGregor, it falls right to Aubameyang, but who's in the right place at the right time? Calvin frickin' Bassey for an on the line clearance, very reminiscent of the Tranmere game. He stays alert, stays switched on, and he gets it cleared away. But I love Bassey, and now after seeing 3 chances missed like that, I love Aubameyang. Something else I love was the opening goal in this game, because again, we talked about it before the game, we talked about it during the game. This was the battle of the Balogans, because our Balogun wears number 26 and their Balogun wears number 26. And just like Highlander, ladies and gentlemen, there only can be one. And thankfully, the Balogun who stood tall was Mr. Leon Balogun, our boy. After the 14th minute, a wonderful ball gets delivered into the box, and Balogun just wants it more as he drills it in to the back post, and Rangers take a 1-0 lead that a lot of people say, oh, it's undeserved. No, it's no for the opening 15 minutes. No buying into that. Yes, Arsenal had a lot of the ball, but a lot of it was sideways and back the way passing, apart from that Aubameyang chance that we hurt ourselves in. And I think if you look at a lot of that game, a lot of moments when Arsenal did look their best or their most dangerous was because we were doing crazy stuff at the back. We were giving the ball away, or we were just sitting far too far off, and that's such a typical of a pre-season friendly. And I think that's perfectly backed up by Arsenal's equalizer in the game. It is just so slack, and it's completely our fault, because it's a nothing ball in behind, towards our fullback. Tavernier reaches for it, he can't bring the ball down, he then flicks the ball up, and it ends up hitting the Arsenal player in the hand. And I originally sat back, and you can even see it in the ring, I was like, oh, it's going to be a free kick, the referee's going to see that, but it's Bobby Madden, and to be fair, I do think it hits his chest first, then hits his arm. But it's one of the ones, ladies and gentlemen, that it could go either way, but our luck wasn't with us at that point, and it's a very good finish for the young Arsenal player as well. And for that moment, it just started to look as if we had decided, you know what, we're going to sit in and work on the defending and positioning because we just gave up going forward. And that is when the game really changed and it became the Arsenal show. I can admit that at that point we weren't good enough for the rest of the first half, and it didn't seem like a matter of if Arsenal was going to score. It seemed to be a matter of when. But there's a guy by the name of Alan McGregor that just once again put the old Superman cape on and just said, nah, 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 nah. As a wonderful save in the 35th minute after a brilliant little through ball by Arsenal to their Balogun. McGregor's there. Great save. And in the second half, ladies and gentlemen, that save in the 48th minute versus Smith Rowe, I believe it was, or whatever player it actually was, is simply incredible, because you can go back and you look at that game. The Arsenal player that's hit that is putting his hands up because he thinks he scored. He's like, I've scored, I've curled it away for the goalkeeper, but somehow, some way, McGregor gets that big shagger paw on it and knocks it just wide. And once again, Alan McGregor gave us the platform to be able to hang in a game and go ahead and take the lead, and that's why he is such a special talent, because we shouldn't have been in that game for a large majority of it, but he refused to let us go out of it, and because of the platform he gave us, we took the lead once again after Glenn Middleton, who came on the park, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately started playing at left back, which again really irritates me. But in terms of the attacking side, where his strengths are and where he's actually good, he steps up with a wonderful corner. It meets Big Itten, who's at the back post. He out jumps little Tierney, puts him on the deck, sends him back in his little Tesco plastic bag and says, way down south, son. Said the Ted's here. And he buries it into the back of net. And you're sitting back going, yes, we've done it again, ladies and gentlemen. We've hung in. We've took the lead. Let's see it out now. And we started to really look dangerous. And Glenn Middleton gets the ball, gets the break of the ball high up the park, some might say in his natural position. And from his natural position, what does Glenn Middleton do late in this game? He runs directly into the box. He asks the Arsenal right back a question, and then he gets his heads up, beautiful ball, into the mixer. It falls to Stephen Kelly at the back post. I'm ready to give it wee dance moves because I think Middleton's assisting Kelly. I think it's the Rangers youngsters of dreams, but unfortunately Kelly can't put the ball in the back of net, and it's a very solid save for the Arsenal goalkeeper. You can see that Kelly isn't known for his goal scoring ability, but I'm not taking anything away from him. That was a special moment there with two young talented players, but unfortunately Middleton didn't get his second assist of the day, and unfortunately when you play a winger at left back, you are going to have moments where the game goes badly defensively, and it came up, ladies and gentlemen. That's unfortunate because people are now blaming him and saying him, but he's playing out of position, man. Go and put Kamal Roof at right back and see what actually happens. And you saw that there late in the game, 84th minute, with Lacazette, who I thought actually played a very good game of football, bringing the ball down, opening people in. Maybe doesn't shoot enough for me in terms of the striker, but very clever player. The ball eventually gets put in behind the defence, and Middleton actually reads it. That's what's crap. Middleton reads it. It gets there, but the ball bounces off him, it ricochets off him, he can't do none. It's unlucky for him as well, but he can't sort his feet out, and from there they nip in, win the ball. Is it Nakata? I don't know if I'm mispronouncing that name properly, but anyway, he opens his body up and he drills it near post as it beats Alan McGregor. Shout out our boy Stephen Kelly as well, by the way. I know I mentioned him when he just missed that chance, but I was very impressed with him. And again, that's what you need to take into consideration as well, ladies and gentlemen. We're bringing on George Edmondson, Jack Simpson. What's that? Our 4th and 5th choice centre backs. We're bringing Stephen Kelly, who, no fault to his own, is probably like the 6th or 7th choice in midfield when you've got everyone fit and ready. You've got a winger at left back, you've got a young lad by Nathan Patterson playing at right back. The midfield's all disjointed. We're playing Jordan Jones and Jake Hasty, so I'm not going to get negative here. Nope. Not for me, ladies and gentlemen. But before we actually do finish up today's video, I do want to talk about what Steven Gerrard said in his post-match interview, where he gave us a wee bit more information about Nnamdi Ofobo. And I thought it'd be better to put it at the end of today's video rather than the start, because, you know, I try and make the videos fun, and I didn't want to talk about something so serious then get light-hearted that it wasn't feel right. So I do want to end with what Steven Gerrard let us know about young Nnamdi Ofobo, and the fact that something has came up in his ECG, which is obviously for his heart, and that's why he's not involved right now. So they're going to try and see what the problem is and try to resolve it, which is an absolute sin, man. Honestly, I hope it's nothing serious and whatever's came up is able to get resolved very, very quickly, and the man can get on and pull on that Rangers shirt, because he's a very, very talented player as well, ladies and gentlemen. But it looks as if his time on the park right now is getting removed because of his health. But thank God it was noticed now before he went on the park, just in case anything went wrong. But you just need to look at Connor Golton and see inspiration. Someone who also had heart issues and heart conditions. You can get back on the park, but again, I didn't want to go down that route because I don't have any more information. Fingers crossed it's nothing serious at all, but that's why you're not seeing Nnamdi Ofabor. And again, the likes of Ryan Kent got a brace on his wrist / hand. That's why you're not seeing him. But that's us, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That's the third pre-season match reactions / discussion all done and dusted. It was an entertaining game versus Arsenal. It was good to see Arteta. If you got involved down there in the comment section below, I will be speaking to you very, very shortly. But until next time, take care of yourselves. All the best and bye-bye.